Well. Hello everyone. We are in the next chapter, chapter 6, Beyonder. Yesterday we read chapter 5. Some strange thing happened in that chapter, so I think in this chapter they are going to tell us what the hell is happening in the grey fog. The two people that came from that stars. I don't know. Let's read. Not only did they speak the same loan language, they also shared the same green and tense vibes. Where am I? What do I plan to do here? I would like to know too. Calming himself down, Sumingri silently repeated the question posed by the two. What left the deepest impression on him were neither the sentence formed by words nor the meaning behind them, but the display of bewilderment, vigilance, panic, and reverence by the couple. For some baffling reason, two people had been mysteriously dragged into this world surrounded by grey fog. As the perpetrator, Sumingri was already feeling abnormally dumbfounded and startled, let alone the couple who was pulled into this mess completely passively. For them, such events and encounters might already be beyond the imagination, right? Momentarily, Sumingri thought of two options. The first option was feigning victimhood to hide his true identity and in turn gain a considerable amount of trust. He would then take a wait-and-see approach and take advantage of his circumstances where necessary. The other option was to maintain his mysterious identity in the eyes of the couple. He would then affect the subsequent development while gleaning valuable information from them. Without the luxury of the time to deliberate over the situation, he grabs the hold of the thought that flashed across his mind. He made an immediate decision to try out the second idea, exploit the psychological state of the other to gain the greatest advantage for himself. After a few seconds of silence in the fog, Sumingri chuckled. With a low but not heavy tone, he calmly spoke as though he was replying to polite greeting from the visitor. An attempt? Audrey Hall looked at the mysterious guy veiled in the greyish white fog, and the only thought was that whatever was happening was absurd, funny, refined, and weird. She was at the dressing table inside her bedroom only moments ago, but just by turning around, she had come into this place that was filled with grey fog. How inconceivable! Audrey took a breath, revealing an impeccable, courteous smile. She asked in a somewhat perturbed way, "Sir, is the time over? May you permit our return?" Angela Wilson also had the intention to probe Sumingri in a similar fashion, but his rich experience made him subtler. He held back his impulse and only took on the role of a silent onlooker. Sumingri looked at the questioner, looking through the hazy mist. He could roughly see the silhouette of the person in question. He was a tall girl with a smooth blonde hair, but her exact countenance could not be seen clearly. Okay. He did not rush to reply the girl's question, but turned around to look at the man. He had messy dark blue hair, as well as a medium stature that was not considered stout. Sumingri suddenly realized something. Once he became stronger or had a deeper understanding of the foggy world, perhaps it was possible for him to see through the fog and discern the girl and the man. In this situation, they are visitors, and I am the master. After changing his mindset, Sumingri instantly noticed the details that he had neglected early on. Okay, he is really fast in this situation, bro. It's like Bro, if I get better with the fog, I can see them. I'm going to fool them because I'm the best. I don't know if he is really in the situation. I don't know. After changing music, okay. The girl was a melodious voice and the mature, without men both looked considerably incorporeal, tinted by a faint crimson red. They resembled a projected image of the two crimson-red stars beyond the grey fog. This projection was based on the connection between the crimson-red and himself, an intangible connection that only he himself could realistically grasp hold of. The projection would disappear once the connection was cut, and the couple would then return. Soon we nod mildly and look at the blonde chuckling. Of course, if you make a formal request, you can return this very moment. When she did not identify all ill intention from his tone, Audrey had a sigh of relief. She believed that since a gentleman who was capable of such miraculous things had given his word, he would definitely abide by it stringently. With her mind somewhat mollified, she surprisingly was in no hurry to request her leave. She rolled her beaded eyes left and right, which sparkled with a normal radiance. She said in an anxious, anticipative, and tempted manner, "This is such a wonderful experience. Yes, I have always been hoping that something like this would happen. I mean, I like mystery and supernatural miracles. No, my point is, what I mean is that, sir, what can I do to become a beyonder?" She got more excited and she spoke, so much so she was fumbling over her words. The dream that exploded in her as a result of listening to thrilling fantasy as told by her elder finally saw the possibility of being materialized. However, with just a few words, she had already forgotten all her previous fears and horrors. Good question. I would also like to know the answer, Sumingui complained inwardly. He started to ponder on an answer to the question to maintain his unfathomable image. At the same time, he felt that it was quite unbecoming of him to talk while standing. Shouldn't he be in a palace, sitting at the head of a long table, and on a mysterious high black chair engraved with ancient patterns, while he's silently observing his visitors? Super specific. As soon as this thought surfaced, the grey fog started to churn, giving both Audrey and Alger a shock. In an instant they saw a number of towering stone pillars around them. Above them was a vast dome that encapsulated them. This entire edifice looked magnificent, grand and lofty, just like a legendary palace for giants. Directly under the dome, where the grey fog gathered, a long bronze table appeared with 10 high-backed chairs on either side in a symmetrical arrangement. The back of each chair dazzled and shone faintly with crimson red, drawing the outline of weary constellation that differed from reality. 10 chairs. So when we finish the chapter, I'm going to check something. I'm going to put this here. Audrey and Alger sat face to face. Face to face, sitting next to a seat of honor. The girl looked to her side. Could not help but mumble, "How fascinating!" "It's certainly fascinating." Sumingui extended his right hand and caressed the edge of the bronze table a little while maintaining an unperpetual expression. This guy. Alger inspected the surroundings, and after a few seconds of silence, he suddenly opened his mouth and answered Audrey's question in place of Sumingui. "Are you alone? If you want to become a beyonder, join the church of either the Evernight Goddess, the Lord of Stone, or the God of Steam and Machinery. The majority of us will not meet a beyonder our entire lives. This has caused church and even some clergies within some of the biggest churches to suspect the same. While this is the case, I am certain to tell you that beyonders still exist in courts, tribunals, and execution agencies. See fighting against the dangers that grow in the dark. Only their numbers are much fewer as compared to before and during the early days of the Iron Age. Okay, this thing of Beyonder, they are like people who have power, and now in the current moment in the history, there is not that much of these people, but in the past, in the Iron Age, there was a lot. Why? Because maybe they restrict the power because it was dangerous? Don't know. Sumingui listened attentively, but he tried his best to present himself as paying little attention to other words, much like how you kids listen to stories. Relying on claiming fame and general knowledge of history, Sumingui knew clearly that the Iron Age referred to the current epoch, which was the fifth epoch that began 1,349 years ago. Relying on fame and general knowledge of history, Sumingui knew clearly that the Iron Age referred to the current epoch, which was the fifth epoch that began 1,349 years ago. Okay, so the fifth epoch started. I'm going to write this in word. Okay. Audrey silently listened to Alga finish his sentence before sighing. Mister, I know all about that. Mister, I know all about what you just said. I even know more than that, including the Nighthawks, the mandated Punisher, and the machinery Havemind. But I don't want to lose my freedom. Alga gave a low-sounding laugh and said vaguely, you can become a Beyonder without sacrifices. If you don't consider joining charge and accepting the given challenge, you can only see the royal family and the few nobles with family stories of more than 1,000 years. You know you can rely on your luck to serve for clandestine evil organization. Audrey puffed her cheek subconsciously and looked around in a fluster. After confirming that both the mysterious man and Audrey did not notice her teeth, she pressed it. Are there no other solutions? Arge sank into silence. About half a minute later, he turned around to look at the mysterious man, who was watching the two of them in silence. Realizing that Sumingui had no plans to make any comment, he looked back at Audrey and said with deliberation, I have two sets of Sequence 9 potion formula. Sequence 9? Sumingui muttered to himself. Really? Which two sets? Audrey clearly knew what the Sequence 9 potion formula meant. Okay, these sequence things, formulas, are like the power system, I think. So I think I'm going to do another. I'm going to write now about power system. Really, which two sets? Audrey clearly knew what the sequence 9 potion formula meant. Alger leaned back silently and replied unhurriedly. As you know, humanity can only depend on potion to become really Beyonders. Well, the names of potion come from the blasphemy slate. After constant translation into Jotun, Elvis, ancient and modern Hermes, and ancient Faceac, they had undergone change to match the day and age of that era. The essence is not in their name, but whether they portray to the core characteristics of the potions. As you know, humanity can only depend on potions to become real Beyonders. I have a sequence 9 potion named Sailor. It enables you to have excellent balancing capabilities. Even if you were on a boat in a rainstorm, you will be able to walk about freely as though you were on land. You will also gain immense strength and illusory scale under your skin. It's not that good, right? They will enable you to swim like a fish and be difficult to catch. That's better. You will move agilely underwater, just like marine animals. Even without any equipment, you will be able to easily submerge underwater for at least 10 minutes. Only 10 minutes. And you get scale under your skin. Well, if it's under your skin, there's no problem. But only 10 minutes, I don't know, it's not that great. Sounds great, the keeper of the seas from the Lord of Storm. He was called by that name in the past. Alger did not pause and continue. The second set of sequence 9 potion is called Spectator. Although I'm not sure what it was called in the past, this set of potion enables you to have an exceptionally sharp mind with acute observation abilities. I believe you can understand by what a spectator means from watching operas and plays, just like an audience spectator judge the actor in the secular world, catching a glimpse of the real thoughts of them through their emotion, conduct, and mantras. This is one I think is much better. It doesn't get like a particular power like the other one that was like you can swim better in water, but I think this is better for the day-to-day. So let me write about these two 9 potion formulas. At this point, Alger emphasized, you must remember regardless of whether you are at an extravagant banquet or a crowded street, a spectator can only be a spectator forever. What do you mean by that? You are a spectator, you can talk to people, or what? Audi sighed soon as she listened, and spoke after a long while. Why? Alright. This is a follow-up question. I think I have fallen in love with this feeling of being a spectator. How can I get this potion formula? What can I use to take with you for it? Alger looked like he was already prepared as he said in a deep voice. The blue of ghost shark, at least 100 millimeters of it. Audrey nodded her head excitedly, but subsequently asked for worriedly, "Bro, if I can get it, and say if, how do I hand it to you? How can you promise me that you can give the potion formula to me in return for the ghost shark blood, as well as the authenticity of the formula?" Alger said calmly, "I'll give you an address. I'll mail the formula to you, or tell you directly here once I receive the blood of the ghost shark. As for promise, I think that both you and I can feel rest assured under the witness of the mysterious seal." As he said this, he swept his eye towards Su Minghui, who was sitting up straight at the seat of honor. "Sir, the fact that you brought us here shows that you have tremendous strength, unimaginable to us. Neither one of us would dare violate a promise with you as witness." "That's right," Audrey's eyes sparkled and agreed with excitement. For her perspective, the mysterious gentleman who had unimaginable abilities was definitely an authoritative witness. Who could I or the guy opposite me dare trick him? Audrey half turned her body and looked at Su Minghui earnestly. "Sir, please be the winner of our trade." At that moment, she then realized that she was all too impolite, having forgotten all along to ask a particular question. She asked hurriedly, "Sir, how should we address you?" Alger nodded slightly, and echoed the same question in a serious manner. "Sir, how should we address you?" Su Minghui was taken aback. He gently rubbed his finger on the bronze table. The content of the early divination flashed across his mind suddenly. He leaned back, withdrew his right hand, and crossed his 10 fingers, placing them below his chin. He gave the two a faint smile. "You can address me as..." When saying this, he paused for a moment. He said amiably and calmly, "The fool." Okay, there you go, there is the fool here, right now, at this fucking moment. Okay, the thing is, what I want to check earlier is that when he created the bronze table and the seats, he created 10 of them, 10 seats. So, I want to check how many tarot cards exist. Okay, 78. Okay, I'm sorry. The major arcana is 22 cards. Cards like the Fool, Death, and the World. Okay, I thought for a moment that maybe there are only 10 tarot cards. I don't know too much about tarot cards. The only thing, the first time I hear about them is in Persona 4 Golden. I currently play Persona 3, so I'm hearing the tarot cards a lot again, and now here. So I don't know too much about these things, so yeah. I thought if they are 10 tarot cards, this is going to be really strange that Su Mingui creates 10 seeds in particular, but no, okay. Okay, it's important, and what we read here that, well, he named himself the Fool. That's cool. All this chapter is crazy how Su Mingui interact with people and how he create a mask for himself, like he's like a semi-god. So that's really cool. And they talk about the power. Okay, yeah, there's this part of the power, the 7-9 potion formulas. The last time I read this, I was really confused with the thing of the formulas, because there are all the other sequence. I think if you get instead of a sequence 9, you get a sequence 7. Is it like better for is you are going to get better powers? I don't really know exactly how this works, but yeah. Now we know that Su Mingui had a really strange power. That's it for today's chapter. Maybe I will read another one today, because this was a short one. Okay, let's end this right now. I'm going to edit the video and upload it today. So yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.